G'day, it's AJ. You know, I was coaching a client yesterday and they mentioned some of their industry norms. This is a lawyer and they were wanting to have greater life-work balance and a different approach to how they managed and deal with their clients. And they already were kind of looked upon a bit in their firm, the practice, as being a little left of centre. And they were concerned that if they went too much farther, that they would get ostracised from the industry and people would think that they'd gone too far. And I shared with them a quote by Steve Jobs, and that is, "I am the exception to every rule." That was actually a saying that Steve Jobs would often say, "I am the exception to every rule." And what it reminded me of is we can actually choose to be the exception to every rule. And rules and industry norms are just there to normalize things. They're just boundaries and guideposts. But we don't have to completely follow them all. We can cut our own path. And in fact, that's all that's ever really challenged the industry. Innovation comes from people challenging the status quo and the norms. Innovation comes from people leaning out and doing something differently. I mean, when you think of Steve Jobs and Apple, the famous motto, "Think differently," really applies here. So how can you think differently to what everyone else in your industry is doing? How can you be the exception to every rule? And what would that change in the way you show up and how you perform your work? Food for thought.